Hi, public speaking. Welcome to week 4. You're talking about delivery this week if you haven't figured it out already. That's titled Delivery. So, we're going to practice this week. I like to practice a lot in class with my face-to-face students. I think many of you already identified why practice is so important, and that's how you're going to get better. So, any free practice you can get, this is basically free practice. I mean, I'm like giving you points to practice. So, hopefully that will be useful for you. I also think being able to practice with the video tools is going to be really useful in the online class because that's how you're going to need that skill to be able to give your speech. So notice that there are 2 discussions this week because one's an activity. It's not really a discussion, it's an activity. And then the other one is more of a discussion about some speeches. So you're going to watch a sample speech and then provide some feedback, do some replies, and then you're also going to do an activity through Flipgrid where, and it might get silly. If it gets silly, that's great. In class, I do the same activity in class, a little different because I can't put you into groups the way I put you into groups in class, but in face-to-face class, it gets so silly and we laugh. So that's kind of the point of that Flipgrid. And the point is to help you practice. So it's really supposed to be low stakes. I also want to reinforce that you don't need to shoot your Flipgrid 6 times. Do that twice, maybe 3 times. Maybe the first take was good enough for you. You don't want to spend an hour on the Flipgrid. That should be just like a short class activity that would take a few minutes in class and it takes you the same amount of time at home. So don't make your Flipgrid video perfect. It's not going to be realistic and you'll be making things harder than you need to make them. The second thing I would say for this week is I really hope the rest of you can come join me for one of the Zoom practices, the Confer Zoom practices that I held. I held some last week. I'm going to hold some more this week, and I was really glad I held them because I actually had a technical problem that I wasn't expecting, and so I had to go get tech support, and it wasn't with me. It was an issue on their end having to do with my account login, which none of you actually need, so there's good news. That won't happen to you because you don't need a login. But my login from May did not work, and it had to do with their system updating over summer. So I got it fixed, but the point being, really useful to try that out. And I had a handful of students show up last week. Everybody had a really smooth experience, but except for one student. And I think that person is going to be so much better off in a few weeks because we are going to fix the tech issue that they were having. So, and then it'll give you an idea of, is your house going to be a good place to do it? Like, where do you want to shoot your, do your speech and all that stuff. So really, really recommend doing one of those Confer Zoom conferences. One person was in there for less than 5 minutes. We were just like, boom, 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 and it was done. So really, it's not going to take you very long. If you are online during that time, please log in and do that. The last thing is this week is going to launch the storytelling speaking signups. I based those signup times on when the most students were available. So there was a strong preference in this class for the evening time. So most of them are in the evening because there were just so many people who that was what was going to work for them. And then there's some logistical issues that if I'm in face-to-face class, I can't watch online speeches at the same time. So we kind of had to work it around that. But you're going to only be in shorter sessions with between 5 and 7 people. So for the first speech, it's going to take half an hour to 45 minutes or so. I would plan for it to take the whole hour, and you're going to want to make sure that you log in a little bit early. But that's my intention anyway. So there's going to be a sign-up sheet. You're going to sign up on the Google Doc for yourself. It's what time and what day. And once you do that, you're locked in. So you need to make sure that unless you email me to change it, you need to make sure that that's going to work for you and that you can attend. And then if something changes, you absolutely have to email me beforehand. And the thing is you have to have an audience. So you have to show up to one of those things. You can't just like make it up in office hours later. And that might get away with that like one time all semester, but legally you wouldn't be meeting the learning objectives for the class. So make sure you do that. Okay, so that's a little bit of an overview for this week. I hope that everybody's doing great. Thanks.